Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into how Sri Lanka is building, well, a kind of financial fortress to defend its economy. And this isn't about some dusty legal documents. This is a high-stakes battle against invisible threats that could impact every single one of us.
I mean, think about it. Some of the biggest threats to a nation's security don't roll in with tanks or fighter jets. Nope. They move silently, digitally, and instantly through our financial networks. These are crimes you can't always see, but their impact can be absolutely devastating.
We're talking about three major threats here. First, you've got money laundering. Taking dirty criminal money and making it look clean. Then there's terrorist financing, which funds violence and chaos. And finally, the financing of WND proliferation, which is, exactly as terrifying as it sounds. Put them all together, and these activities can destabilize a country and rot the entire financial system from the inside out.
So how is Sri Lanka fighting back? Well, the country has rolled out a major upgrade to its defenses. In this explainer, we're going to walk through the new rulebook, see who's on the front lines, check out the new intelligence unit, meet the national command team, and then, most importantly, we'll break down why any of this matters to you.
All right, let's start with the foundation of this whole new defense, a major update to a law that's been around since 2006. You can think of it like this. They're swapping out a simple old-school padlock for a super high-tech vault.
And this isn't just some idea being floated around. This is official. This bill was ordered up by the Minister of Finance, and its whole purpose is to beef up the country's legal muscle, bringing Sri Lanka's defenses up to speed with today's global standards.
Okay, so a new rulebook is great, but it's pretty useless if no one's following it, right? That brings us to the folks on the front lines, the financial institutions. We're talking banks, finance companies, even real estate agents. They're the gatekeepers, and now they've got a whole new set of responsibilities.
Now, at the very heart of these new rules is something called customer due diligence, or CDD. I know, it sounds super corporate, but it boils down to one simple, really powerful idea. You've got to know who you're doing business with. It's not enough anymore to just open an account. These places now have a legal duty to dig a little deeper.
And it's a pretty straightforward four-step process. First, identify the customer. Simple enough. Second, you actually verify who they are with official documents. Third, and this one is a big deal, you identify the beneficial owner. That means finding the real person who actually benefits from the money, not just some front man or a shell company. And finally, they have to understand the purpose of the whole business relationship. This checklist makes it so much harder for criminals to hide in plain sight. So what does this all add up to? Well, it means the days of hiding in the shadows are pretty much over. The law now flat out forbids anonymous accounts or accounts with just a number. This closes a huge loophole that criminals have been using for years. Now, every single account has to have a real, verifiable person behind it. Okay, so all this information is being collected by the banks. But who's connecting the dots? Who's looking at the big picture? Well, the law doesn't just create new rules. It builds a powerful watchdog, basically a central watchtower to keep an eye on the whole financial system. And that watchtower is the Financial Intelligence Unit, or FIU. Now, what's so important here is that the law makes it operationally independent and autonomous. That's not just legal jargon. It means this isn't just another government department buried in bureaucracy. The FIU has the freedom to act, to follow the money wherever it leads, and to make calls without political pressure. That is absolutely critical for it to actually work.
And believe me, it has some serious powers. The FIU can dig into suspicious transactions, share what it finds directly with the cops, and get this, it can even freeze a suspicious transaction for up to 14 working days. Just stop it cold. It can also team up with international agencies and even walk into an institution to check their records. So yeah, it's got both the bird's eye view and the teeth to back it up.
All right, so you've got the rules, you've got the gatekeepers on the front line, and you've got the watchtower. But to make all these pieces work together, you need a command center, right? A place where the overall strategy is managed. And that's exactly what this amendment creates.
And just look at who's sitting at this table. We're not talking about middle managers here. This committee is chaired by the governor of the central bank. And you've got the top dogs from finance, justice, defense, and law enforcement all there. This puts all the key players in one room, making sure everyone is on the same page and can act together fast.
So we've gone through the new rules, the high-tech watchtower, and the top-level command team. But let's bring this all home. Let's get to the most important question of all. What does any of this actually mean for you, for the average person? How does this make your life better?
Well, first off, it means a cleaner, more transparent economy. Think about it. When a country gets a reputation for being tough on financial crime, it becomes a much safer bet for legitimate international businesses to invest in. And more investment, that means more growth, more opportunities, and ultimately, more jobs for everyone.
Second, and this one's really direct, it cuts off the money supply for organized crime and terrorism. Every single dollar of dirty money that gets stopped is a dollar that can't be used to fund drug trafficking or corruption or acts of violence. This is about making our communities safer. It's about public safety, plain and simple.
And finally, it protects your own money. A stronger financial system, one that can actually defend itself from these global criminal networks, is a system that does a way better job of protecting your savings, your pension, your family's entire economic future. It's really about building a stable foundation that all of us can depend on.
So, when you put it all together, Sri Lanka has built a pretty impressive new set of financial defenses, a real upgrade for the 21st century. But, and there's always a but, the world of financial crime never stands still. They're always looking for the next crack in the wall. Which leaves us with one final thought. With these new defenses up, what new threats are already gathering on the horizon? Because this battle, it's never really over.